Okay. As you return to your home, you find a familiar figure sitting on your doorstep.
Slane looked overtired, annoyed, and just, I'm guessing it's Jaffa.
That would be why she's on your doorstep, yes.
Just making sure. He let out a soft sigh. I've had a long day, Missy.
No need to sound so pleased to see me, after I do you such a favor and everything.
Slane sighed again. Your favors always revolve me doing insane things, usually, whenever I have to pay you back. Don't sound like it's so easy.
Well, I could just go and you can organize your own meeting with dear Daddy.
Well, if I do that, he'll probably arrange it anyways. And
True.
then I'll probably just be thrown up by my feet, upside down again. And it gave me a nasty headache last time.
Might even chop off one of your horns.
Took maybe a little bit of a step back, rubbing at his left horn. I quite like my horns.
Well then, I guess you'll just have to entertain me for the moment, won't you?
Slane nodded. You know that was what we were going to get anyway. Also, I'd stay away from that dwarf friend of yours.
Oh, he's not my friend. He's a little tiny pervert.
Aye.
But a useful one.
I told him you weren't into fishmen and he gave me all the information I wanted.
That's really nothing I didn't need to know. But okay. Why fishmen? That's really strange.
Oh, because I asked you about them and you told me earlier. You really wanted to just know anything. I'm just like, wow. That was, that's what information costs this day and age.
Right. Anyway, I do hope you at least own something more respectable than that assassin's coat of yours.
Kinda?
You may want to wear it. 7 a.m.
And are you going to take me or am I being escorted this time?
Oh, I'll take you. Though you probably prefer to be escorted, I think.
Either way, it's going to end the same.
Indeed. Well, have a good night. She sounds very chipper about your probably nightmare-filled evening.
He shrugged. Surprised you didn't ask for a drink this time. Don't get caught by the cops.
Oh, I wouldn't get caught by the police. I have a very friendly relationship with the police.
He shrugged. It's not like the elves do anything anyway.
The pointy ears help, she says, kind of showing her head side to side.
He just kind of waved his hand. I'd be more careful about the bare-chested one. He's more lustful than the dwarf.
Oh, I'm not the kind of people he's into.
I don't want to know.
But you're so pretty, she says in a mocking tone.
Don't let anybody else hear that. You have way too many suitors, and two of them have already tried to kill me.
Just two? I'm disappointed.
The other two got beat up by my golem before they had the chance.
Either way, have a good night. She wanders off down the street, swaying her hips as she does.
Zlade doesn't even look. Uninterested.
She's going to be offended tomorrow.
That's how he always is.
I know. Okay.
Slane, before opening his door, pulled an intricate lock system on the left-hand side to make sure the half-powered golem inside didn't swing his fist and blast anyone who was trying to rob him. He did live in a very, very sketchy part of town.
Okay, now on to our two detectives, I suppose.
Inspectors.
Whatever. You return to the station. And take your new guest to an interrogation room.
The fish man, yes?
Yes. Let me shrink his picture a bit. There we go. Find yourselves on the map, and you'll be in your interrogation room. It's down in the lower section of the map.
I'm still on a picture of Tynos.
Oh, I haven't changed the map yet.
Also...
Whoopsie. I forget it doesn't change it when I change the maps. I gotta move the player icon. Found yourselves? Lower
yeah.
section of the map, good. Really should probably split these into two different maps, but oh well.
Oh, there we go.
Consult our notes.
Okay, how are you going to begin your interrogation? As the fish man sits in a chair, arms crossed.
Are we outside of the room, or are we in the
You
room
can
already?
be wherever you like.
Alright. Mork will be in the hallway. And sort of gesture to Comdosa to come over.
Okay. Think we should do good cop, bad cop.
Isn't that a little cliche?
Mork prefer classic, not cliche.
He just stares at him.
What's your suggestion?
Bad cop and bad cop.
Like your style. I'll get Taser.
And I'll get the Billy Club.
And
after
and police brutality ensues.
police efficiency.
Of course, of course.
Alrighty. So I take it we acquire these materials really quick from
Yep, there's a storage room just over here.
Yep, so we'll go ahead and grab those items and then we'll enter on into the room.
Okay. As you enter, you see your suspect sitting in a chair, feet propped up on the desk, just kind of waiting.
More calmly shuts the door and then looks over at Comdosa wondering who should go first.
Comdosa nods for him to go first, and Comdosa also promptly locks the door.
Immediately, Mork screams at the top of his lungs.
Feet off table.
The man raises one of his non-existent eyebrows and just removes his feet.
Eggman, you answer questions.
You'll need to ask some first.
And then he looks over to Condosa.
I suggest you don't get smart with us. This is a orc police station after all. I'm not sure if you've seen the cells.
We have good cells. Nice, compact after dismemberment.
Well, that's intimidating.
Speaking of intimidating, I think Mort should probably get an intimidation thing for screaming at the top of his lungs.
Ooh, should I?
You don't need one. He already removed his feet.
Alright, so that was a sign that he is intimidated.
You, Eggman, tell us where you come from.
Well, you see, when two seafaring fishmen and women love each other very much,
Give him the billy club.
Comdosa stops this immediately and slams his billy club right in front of his face. Very hard, and it leaves a mark on the desk.
the man is silent for a moment.
And then he doesn't say anything, he just glares and lets his face do most of the talking, and then nods his head to Mork.
Where from?
I'm from a small village about 3 or 4 miles off the coast of the city.
Name.
We've been over this, you know. We're not big on names.
You pay taxes.
Taxes, he says, raising his brow.
Yes. City must pay taxes. Therefore, requires penal code.
I'm not entirely sure what these taxes you speak of are. I pay my bills, I suppose. As few as they are.
Let's change the line of questioning. You came here a few months ago, correct? Why?
Indeed. Well, let's just say I had some disagreements with my home.
And with that, all of a sudden there is a crackling as Mork pulls out a taser and flicks it on. And he's already making his way over to the fishman, knocking over a chair as he does.
Okay. What are you doing now?
He's about to jab the taser directly into him.
Okay.
If someone doesn't stop him.
Who's stopping him? There's nobody else here besides Kamedosa.
Instead, he'll put it close to his cheek.
You cheeky cheek best served fried with lemon glaze.
Hold on there, Mork. He stops him just short. So, a clear reason why you came here. Or, and he just motions to Mort and his taser.
Very well.
I'm not gonna stop him.
Very well. I came here on a job for a organization that I'm affiliated with. They generally sell various parts. It's a salvaging operation mostly.
Be specific. Name of org and what kind of parts?
Well, sunken ships, that sort of thing. It's a salvaging job, as I said. They, don't... their name is, I believe, Oceanography Salvaging?
Oceanography salvaging.
You know this as a somewhat famous, or rather infamous, salvaging operation that isn't entirely within the law sometimes.
And you say you had a disagreement with your employers?
You could say that. I refused to do something that they would require of me.
And at this, Mork just sort of smashes his fist down into the table and repeats,
Specify details.
Well, I can't go into too much details. I may no longer be an employee, but I'm still bound by certain obligations that would get me into quite a bit of legal trouble.
I'm taking notes, so...
That's okay.
Oh, I've already been adding them.
Oh, sweet. Are you already saving changes?
I really should split up
Oh, you
evidence
just
between
saved
people.
over, so I guess it don't matter.
Oh shit, sorry. Fuck.
I really need to just give you
Oh, it's
all
fine, 'cause I just
individual notes.
I will let you do the note taking, Taka. You take the note taking. At this, Mork will look over at Condosa and silently try and wiggle his eyebrow in what he hopes the other inspector will take as a silent question of, should we leverage amnesty for him, or should we just go with the Billy Club?
Mendoza takes the Billy Club and just kind of pokes his cheek with it.
The fishman seems somewhat irritated by all this poking and threatening, but doesn't say anything.
You heard my associate.
Twas a relic of my people that they wanted to salvage, less than legitimately. It seems to be about as specific as he's willing to be.
So, stealing it.
Yes.
So he came to steal a relic.
No, he came because he refused to steal a relic.
Ah, okay.
Basically got kicked out of his village for not cooperating.
When did you first meet Hooker?
About a month and a half ago. Associate of mine put me on to her.
Associate?
Aye. Tiefling lass. Hangs out downtown. Her name's Sarah. Bit of a shady character, I suppose.
Would we know who Sarah is?
No,
Jelaine would.
Zelane does, but you don't.
Is she pimp?
No, I don't think so. Certainly into some shady things, but I don't think pimping is one of them. More of a recommendation than a service.
And this Mork backs up a little bit with the taser. Because, they're getting results, so he moves it away, finally, just a little bit. Almost looks disappointed, too.
Overall, your fishman is somewhat cooperative. You get the impression that he may not be the person you're looking for.
Yeah,
Does he know who we are looking for?
You don't know.
that Mork will look over to Comdosa to see if they could probe down that particular path. Questioning.
Alright, question. So, Fishman put eggs in her. We found her dead with the eggs in her. That means that would have had to have been recent.
Mm-hmm.
Which would also mean that recent would probably put it within at least the day of death.
Yes,
So, he might know something?
he might.
Question mark. Let's ask about the day of death.
I leave it to you, sir.
Alright, since Mark backed up, Comdosa doesn't, and just kind of prods his cheek with the billy club once more. So, we have evidence of you being there at the day of the murder.
I was there.
We're going to need an alibi for the time, or any information
Well,
whatsoever.
do you know when the murder was exactly?
Murder was at.
You don't have an exact time. It was after 10 p.m., however.
After 10 o'clock.
Well, I left the young
I
ladies
don't have an exact time.
because you didn't ask for one.
You have the
I was-
autopsy report?
You haven't read it.
The autopsy.
You haven't read it yet.
Are you serious?
You have not gone over the autopsy reports.
Oh god.
They're re-interrogating this man without the autopsy.
Our character just really wanted to beat this shit.
Comdosa's just kind of looking through the reports he has, and then notices a glaring fucking problem, and kind of tries to notion to Mork to run somewhere really fucking fast.
At this Mork looks at Comdosa, and I'm just gonna make a quick roll real quick.
What's the roll for?
See if he can get it.
He understands.
Intelligence check, go!
Where's my character sheet? There it is.
You get it.
He gets
Should I roll for me actually?
performance.
Yeah, you can do a performance check. I'll give you a result once you've done one.
Where's performance? There we go.
Skills? Yeah.
You,
Oh!
your performance is very terrible.
Oh god.
Oh no.
So much so that you accidentally hit the suspect in the face with the billy club,
Oh god.
quite hard, and he is knocked out cold.
But all I did was motion my head out. The fuck did I knock him out with the fucking club?
You're really bad at performances.
You hit your head and it tweaked your whole body.
I mean, his body structure would make that a thing.
And this Mork just looks out.
We beat him now.
Go get the autopsy report. Go get the autopsy report.
Oh, okay.
He's unconscious. He won't know. We'll just prop him up and wake him up when he gets back.
Say earthquake, destroy room, wreck room, make it seem like land splitter, fixture, fall on his head. Yes.
And then this Mork stampedes out, busting the door open as he does.
Condosa just kind of props him back up.
The man kind of sags to the side on the chair. A nice bruise falling on his side of his head.
Mork, meanwhile, goes to wherever the autopsy report is.
That's Captain's office.
Oh, Mork's gonna stampede his ass over to the captain's office.
Do.
Exactly. You don't have an exact time of death. Why don't we have an exact time of death? That's a very easy thing to get.
It's again.
Even in the oldest of fucking police work, that's a very easy thing to establish.
Most of the evidence they got over was missing a bunch of things, and you only just got the police report, the autopsy report reports yesterday, and then you were doing stuff, and you never actually read them because you're assuming somebody else would have. I'm assuming.
As Mork runs up the stairs, he runs by a poster of the captain who's pointing at people, going,
Efficiency.
I just got here. I would have assumed they would know.
This whole case has been a bit of a trial, so to speak.
Police work. Condosa is not sure.
I mean, this is mostly on the elves, really.
Then Mork's gonna go get that autopsy report.
Your captain is in his office, so you may need to knock.
The captain knows Mork is coming before he even knocks because of the way he stomps.
Of course he does.
Thoroughly through the hallway. But to his credit, Mork pauses, clears his throat, and then knocks on the door as gently as he can.
He really doesn't want to get shot again.
No, he doesn't.
You hear a muffled "Enter."
And Mork enters.
Oi. Mork.
I know who you are. What you want?
Autopsy report for Walker.
You haven't read it yet?
Yes, but need clarification.
And Mork quickly walks over to his office.
Arch, you need to give me a deception check.
Okay. $16.
Give me a second, and I will give you a roll. Where is Captain? God damn it, stop doing that.
Oh no, we lost you.
Yeah, it keeps going back for some reason. I'll fix it in a second. Do. Yeah, you do not fool your captain.
Oh, not 20. He sees right through the bullshit.
You hear Mork. He only uses your first name when you're in some serious trouble.
Yes, Captain.
Why not read reports?
Was busy apprehending Fishman last night. Also, brother find bleeding man from throat. I hear.
Not efficient. Should read on way.
Yes, be efficient. This Mork swear. Next time.
You stay after hours. We have training session. Bring lizard man.
Okay.
It's not my fault. I just got
We got the tension. And then Mork just go and get the autopsy report real quick from his office, and then sprint his way back downstairs.
When I got here, I asked for everything from Taika. I know I did.
The
Yeah.
elves did not have everything.
Yeah, they only gave you what they had. They picked up the autopsy reports literally the day before, and the captain hadn't gone over them yet,
Once again, everything is the elves' fault.
more or less.
Speaking of elves, I just remembered something.
Hmm.
Ranger learns another language at some point, right? What level is that?
You learn a language every time you take a favorite enemy. You know the language of all your favorite enemies.
Oh, do I have elves on there?
Mhm.
Oh, hey, you guess who speaks elf?
You speak most languages, actually. Most common languages. You speak Infernal as well.
You can speak Satanist or Tiefling. I think
I s-
Tiefling's so infernal.
I speak Elvish, Orcish, and Infernal.
Perfect. And I speak. What do I speak?
Probably Orcish and Common, I would assume.
Mhm.
Unless
Yeah,
you got
just
something
Common
else.
Orcish.
You've got 20 intelligence too, so you get to pick another 2 languages.
I'll choose Dwarfish.
Dwarven
Dwarven.
and
Are Celestials a thing here?
Mhm.
Then I will, because Mork has the face of a majestic fucking angel.
So he learned the divine language. Good to know.
Alright, so Mork comes back with the case file in hand and the autopsy report, and takes a look around to see if Comdosa has destroyed the room yet, and also the state of the fish van.
There's chairs knocked over. The Billy Club is mysteriously absent. Doors broken, so that makes it look better.
Mork looks around.
This is acceptable, but help me tear down light fixture.
No,
Make
no,
more
no.
efficient.
No, too much.
You
Too
think
much.
Too much.
Too much, yeah. I have a glass of water. We'll splash him awake after we read over this report.
Yes, I blame elves for mismanagement.
And then Mork will lay it down on the table and flip that autopsy report open for them both to read.
The autopsy report is very thorough. Gives you a time of death, the likely cause of death, as well as several other details that go right over your heads because you're not morticians.
Well, let's write down all the notes.
Let's update these notes.
Yeah, let's update the murder notes. Can you go
The time of
through everything?
the time of death listed in the report is at 10:52 p.m.
Where is her death stuff?
It
There
doesn't.
we go.
It's only up top somewhere. Her cause of death is actually from blood loss rather than any trauma.
Any damaged organs, or is it just blood?
No, she has a nick to one of her kidneys from the bite mark at her waist, but that did not kill her. What killed her was the tear in her throat.
Ooh, what does the tear look like?
It's a bite mark.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
know that mark.
We already know what the marks are. The elven detective mortician went over that with you.
Oh yeah. What else about her do we know from this report?
What else do you want to know?
Literally everything.
That is not specific. This is a very, very long report, and you don't have that much time.
We can knock him out again.
Jesus Christ.
Efficiency.
Okay. So cause of death, time of death, 10:52.
I don't suppose they could tell how old fish eggs were inside her.
That is listed. They are, from what they can tell, they were 4 hours before her death.
4 hours before her death. Alrighty. And then let's see now. Any other mysterious fluids that were inside her or in her blood, like alcohol, drugs, anything like that?
No, she's not. Doesn't appear to be a drinker or on any drugs.
Do we have a time of all of those, all of the Siemens?
All except the strange one. The human one was about an hour and a half before her death, and the other one you don't know because it's too fucking weird.
But you said that there was fish eggs, there was semen, and then there was what else?
The
Another random one, right?
the odd blood type that you don't recognize or didn't get recognized.
Where was the other blood type? Was that in the hole?
No,
Was it in her? Was it on her? Or was it?
it was on her near the bite marks.
Near the bite marks. Gotcha.
Okay.
So human. So fishman around 6. Human
Around 9 o'clock.
9. Oh well, if it was an hour before, it'd be more closer to the actual 10.
But yeah,
For regular blood, how old was the blood that was on her? That was the weird one.
that's mixed with her own, so you can't tell.
Hmm.
So, considering its location, you're relatively sure it's the one that was involved in the biting.
Alrighty. What other autopsy things could we think of? Semen, blood, organ damage. What else am I missing?
I think we're missing any kinds of marks not related to the actual cause of death.
Oh yeah, like tattoos or specific scars. Anything like that?
No, like anything that would come from trying to struggle from not being murdered.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you have a number of bruises and wear marks at her fingers and arms, where she's clearly tried to claw away at the man in question, presuming it's a man. As well as some odd bruising around her back, likely from being pushed up against furniture.
And any DNA from under the fingers from where she tried to claw at that man.
There is. It's the same as the odd DNA you found. It was found in the bite marks.
Hmm. Any other things like maybe in her hair as well too, or any other little like flecks of like skin or scales or anything?
Not that is in the report. Though, considering the thoroughness of the mortician, you don't believe that she's missed anything.
And then are there any like discernible tattoos or scars on her?
No, she is remarkably scar-free and has no tattoos.
Okay. I think that's quite a bit of info.
Mm.
Yeah, a lot. Should have read the.
Yeah, we should read this before we started this interrogation.
Because he kind of gives away this man is not your suspect a little bit.
Yeah, it does by a lot.
City's finest.
But he might have something to point us in the right direction.
Really?
Because I'm assuming these things go for hours. So he might have seen the person who on the way in.
Mm-hmm. He may have.
So, I got the water.
Okay. Wait, where's Taser?
And Mocha look around to remove the taser before water spills on him and then subsequently electrocutes the floor.
This is a wise decision, as the taser is sitting on the floor underneath the man's chair, still on.
More quickly takes that, turns it off and tosses it into the room across the hallway. Over there.
You hear
Another order.
you hear a crashing sound as it goes through the window of the other interrogation room because the door isn't open.
Efficiency! Efficiency!
Okay. Alright, so Comdosa takes the glass of water, and since he is a merman, he'll probably feel great. Just dumps his face with the water.
The water, surprisingly, does not splash out over the man. Akina just seems to be just absorbed into his skin as the bruise on his cheek, on the side of his face, seems to just fade away.
I'm gonna go bring my plate downstairs and this one should some.
No worries.
That's very helpful to know that we could probably beat the shit out of him. Keep splashing water and no marks will appear.
That kind of fun. Can we do it again?
No. Information. Does the splashing of water wake him up at all?
No.
All marks are gone.
You may want to tidy the room to make it look like there wasn't anything and he just fell asleep.
Yeah, we'll do that. Now that we've got marks gone.
Mark's
It's a good
gone,
thing we
everything
didn't
is
tear.
restored.
Good. It's a good thing we didn't tear down the light fixture. He Condosa just starts picking up the chairs and
Mark
puts everything
turns-
back to normal.
Mork turns and looks at the door that's off its hinges now, and just sort of like lifts it up and
Props it.
tries to props it in the doorway, kind of straight.
Don't you have a mending, Arch?
I do.
So load your cannon and fire a mending bullet at it.
I don't even know if I
Would
have
that-
to kill him again.
That wake him up.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'll cast Mending as a cantrip. So Mork pulls out his cannon and puts it right next to the door as he keeps it propped up in the center when you have hinges. Flicks a few buttons on switches on his gun, and then you hear a loud bang as the door starts to rebuild itself with a stream.
The man. You don't need to roll. Watch. The man jerks in his chair suddenly at the sound, and the door looks perfectly repaired just in time. He looks around suddenly. It's like, what happened? Where am I?
You're at the police station. You suddenly fell asleep, and that's it.
Oh, it has been a day or two since I had a good nap. Sorry about that, lads.
Narcolepsy. Serious condition. Should consult doctor.
I'll keep that in mind for with all that money I don't have.
Do we not have universal healthcare in this world?
No.
Hey kids, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Universal healthcare is definitely not a thing here. At least not for fishermen from the sea, who don't have citizenship.
Okay, so you fell asleep during one of my questions. Where was I? He looks over the autopsy report that he totally had this entire time. Where were you at around 10:50?
It was doing a bit of warehouse work down in the city.
And there's anyone who could verify that?
Aye, supervisor.
Okay. Might seem to check out. And you said you left around
Oh, about 9ish from the
9.
the woman's abode.
On your way out, did you see anything or anyone suspicious before you left? Actually, what did the last person who went in look like?
There was
If you saw.
there was a man in a hood. Yeah, bit of an odd look to him. Not that I could talk, I suppose.
How odd.
Just off, like his face didn't quite fit, if you know what I mean.
They would have given us Slane and Gork would have given us what that guy looked like a little bit, would they? 'Cause they both fought him.
Yep, it's not him. Not by the description you've gotten.
Okay.
Hmm.
Too many men in hoods.
Hoods are a popular way to disguise your identity.
Same with Assassin's Creed.
Well, we don't know that. So far, we have 2 sightings of man in hood. So
The fun part, Seeley, is none of these men in hoods are the same person.
Oh no.
oh no.
So Mork would look at him and go,
Did you and her talk at all?
Oh,
Besides
some.
sex.
Some. You see a person enough, you talk to them.
Discuss.
Well, I know she was in some trouble, financially. That's why she was, what she was. Got into some trouble with some unsavory types from a city, I believe.
Which ones?
Oh, I know, never got the name, just some initials.
B.
How did you know?
Mork is smart.
Well, that's nice of you. Any other questions?
Is there anything else we can get out of him?
I want to ask about afterwards. What did he do immediately after doing the do?
Oh, he went to go work at the docks, and someone there well, not the docks, a warehouse, and someone there
It was at the docks,
that.
but yeah.
I mean, more like directly after, like literally.
It would take him like an hour and a half to get there. If he's walking, because his car is a piece of shit.
Right. Okay.
Don't we have video feed too?
Inspector Mork, can you follow me outside?
You do have video feed, but it's shitty video feed.
Yes, outside. We go.
As you exit the door, you hear the man prop his feet up on the table again.
You hear Mork scream back in there.
Feet.
He sighs, and then you hear the scuff of boots removed from the table.
Okay. Is there anything else you think we can get from him? He's clearly not our guy.
Curious. Discussed some things about financials. Mayhap shared personals too. Or other clients.
That's what we can ask. If he knew what the next client was.
Yes, semen was hour before death.
And judging by the time he left, it seems like they stay a while even after. Let's go ask him that and then send him on his way.
Yes.
Alright, and they re-enter the room. Or at least Commodore enters back into the room.
And Mork follows in afterwards, taking great care not to break the door.
Give you a strength check.
God damn it.
That's what you get for having too high strength.
9.
You crack the door's glass as you walk through it, but it doesn't break.
Elvish design. Clearly.
The door in question was actually made by dwarves. As was most of the furniture and other things in your PlayStation, because you wouldn't buy from elves, because you're racist as fuck.
That's fair. Alrighty, so is this guy still chilling?
He is. His hands are behind his head.
We have questions about hooker conversation.
What do you want to know?
Where is it? Here it is. Go ahead, you go first.
Okay. We want to know who was the last person, if she told you anything about the next person coming in.
Oh, just that he was not a client she was fond of. so to speak. You know, even in that line of work, people have their foibles.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit rough, from what I understand.
Any info about him, you know?
Never met the man. I could only know what you told me, and it wasn't anything too detailed. Just that she didn't like quite serving him, but didn't have much of a choice. Not sure why. Probably to do with that trouble with the old BV people.
Did she mention a name? Anything?
No names. There's not a whole lot of names in that line of work, as you can understand. Some clients are a bit sensitive about that sort of thing.
She mention any other personals?
Oh, a few. She had, had her favourites, had her dislikes. Nothing too relevant. Just that she had two more clients that night, and one of them was this man that she wasn't quite fond of, and another was related to her, what's the word, business, so to speak.
Hmm?
I think it might have been her pimp, if you know what I mean. That's not nothing I'm sure of, though.
2 clients.
One there, one after.
Well, because there were 2 after him, but there was only one semen thing, and then whatever the random blood is. And she said it's related to her business, so that means one of them was the pimp, possibly.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Or another person who's in the same line of work.
Indeed.
Possibly. And do we know? I'm looking through the files. Do we know who she worked for, or who her pimp was?
You did not.
Well, I guess we're just gonna have to hunt down this Sarah person.
Indeed.
They seem to know more about her.
Indeed. We didn't know any other information about Marjorie, right? Like, what other work she did? She was a waitress, right?
Waitress, yes.
So it's possible that the person related to her work isn't the pimp, but maybe it was related to her work as a waitress?
Also a possibility.
Yeah. So far, the only person that we know who knows more about her from Fishman would be the person who introduced them, and that would be Sarah.
Yes, the tiefling from downtown.
So that's gonna have to be the next lead, logically.
Yep, she probably is the best bet. So Mort just gives a grunt and then looks to Commandosa thinking like, yeah, we're done here.
We are totally done here.
Okay. You go. Thank you. Cooperating.
Well, always happy to help the police, as long as they're not trying to deport me.
Suggestion. Go work at Elf Station. Need someone useful for once.
You think that the police would employ a illegal immigrant man?
They employ stripper. Same difference.
The man snorts. I'll take your word for it. Something tells me that they tried to deport me, though. Just a feeling.
And with that, Mork would open up the door for the merman to leave.
He does so, giving them a bit of a jaunty wave as he goes.
Pleasant fellow. Shame I beat his face in.
It's okay. He not remember.
Or does he?
Probably didn't want it to happen again.
Indeed.
We should report to Captain.
Just as you say this, over the little intercom system, you hear a very growled yell. Inspectors! My office!
Suggestion. Duck when you first walk in.
Mm,
You
Just kinda-
understand?
those that doesn't understand follows along anyway.
Mork is totally going to duck as soon as he walks in.
We'll see if that's a wise decision or not when you get there. The door to the captain's office is already open.
Dosa follows behind work.
Mork opens the door and then immediately ducks.
There's nothing.
Door's already open.
Door's already open.
Okay.
Nothing is thrown at you. You just look like a bit of a fool ducking over nothing.
Dosa just kind of steps over him and moves to the right.
I'll go interrogation.
Much information, but merman clean.
That's good. Also bad, but good. Efficient.
Yes, efficient.
Have lead.
On the next suspect, no. We do have another lead on someone who might know something.
Problematic.
As far as the fishman is concerned, the hooker only told him about a couple of clients, one that came in afterwards and then seemed to have left, and then the other that was maybe her pimp. We're not too sure. It seems as though his referral, someone named a tiefling named Sarah from downtown, would be our best bet.
Petty criminal. No name.
You know Sarah?
Petty criminal. Been arrested a few times. Nothing serious.
Could be serious now.
Might have gotten into trouble with gang or something. Oh no. You find out. Mork.
Yes,
You, commander, have other job.
Yes.
Speak Elvish, yes?
Yes.
We have other witness, possibly. You speak to her.
Okay. Where is this other witness?
In lounge. Door is locked, so be careful. Very violent sometimes. If wrong words.
If wrong words?
Just
wrong words. Bad.
no speaking any other language but Elvish. Or common. React violently to certain languages. Was found in cage. At Gork location.
Condosa gives a small salute. I'll get right on it, sir. And asks to be pointed in the direction of the lounge because he still doesn't know the layout.
Abruptly, the secretary appears next to him and kind of grabs at one of his hands.
Huh? How,
She leads him down the hallway into the lounge.
Mork Miles salutes and goes on his way to go find this Sarah.
Pauses at the door before vanishing once again.
what What a weird secretary.
One day you'll work out what the secretary is. The door is locked, but there's keys on the other side of it, sitting in the lock.
I have a question.
What's your question?
Can I roll to try to figure out what the hell she is right now?
Yep.
Would that be intelligence or wisdom?
Investigation.
Investigation.
From what you've seen of her so far, you should be able to discern what she is. If you roll well.
So what the fuck is that? Investigation.
Investigation. 20, that's not bad. From what you've seen so far, she appears to be some kind of spirit. You're not entirely sure what kind, but you suspect it's some kind of building spirit from the way she moves around.
Building spirit?
Spirits, it's something that's not common knowledge, but you might know about it. Give us a history check.
History.
Yes. You do not know what exactly a building spirit is, just that they exist.
It's a good thing I didn't roll a 1, or I might, because the building spirits don't exist.
She's clearly a figment of my imagination.
Okay. Kamdosa unlocks the door and walks in to be greeted by
Robot
cyborg.
elf lady, yes. She
Alright,
glances over to him before almost immediately pouncing on him, as if he were a combatant.
he puts his hands up and says in Elvish, and just assume everything from
Yeah,
here
that's what I was going
forward is
with.
No, don't attack. I'm here on captain's orders.
He pauses. Lizard man is comrade. Odd. Why you speak tongue of elves?
Because I have to deal with your kind quite often in downtown.
Ah, and you are a detective. Like orcs.
Yes, I think I'm the only person in the building who speaks Elvish.
Ugh, savages.
They told me you are a witness to a crime and were a hostage. They asked me to come over here to get some information on what exactly happened.
Information prior to capture is classified.
Information regarding capture is fine.
Was in cage for many months. 7, perhaps. Internal clock's not accurate.
Where are the notes?
The notes are in evidence. I'll actually, before you add anything to this, I need to make something.
Okay.
All Core is doing that. I referred you all to a fantastic meme in chat.
Carry on. You get Jonathan. I know. I just also realized we're about to have some wonderful Mork and Slain time. It'll be reminiscent of Bork and Burnos.
Except Zlane doesn't care. He's a little bit more of a good guy than
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Zlane is as neutral as I can get him to be. Frodo started out as lawful evil.
He didn't stay that way, though.
He turned chaotic neutral rather quickly. By the end, you might even consider him chaotic good.
I have created you a new set of notes. You should be able to see them in a moment.
I see them now. probably split the bite case murder notes up to bite case things we know and autopsy reports.
You can do that if you want. I'll create some more handouts for you.
Just to copy and paste some of that, because going in there for the autopsy information and going in there for the investigation information is pretty.
You want
Let's make sure we read autopsy notes from now on.
Okay.
If I was here for them,
Do you want any other way you want to split up your evidence?
No, that should be good.
That's good.
No, I don't think we need individual notes.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay.
Alright, so the Elven operative is separate from the bike case.
Yes, but also kind of connects vaguely.
Comdosa goes ahead and takes a seat and takes out his notepad and begins to jot some things down about 7 months, maybe.
Possibly, yes. Unsure. The woman seems to stand at attention rather than sitting, as if waiting for more questions.
I wasn't there, so I'm not entirely sure what else we need to know from the elf robot.
From the little the captain gave you on her, she was in all that you know about her. She was in a cage that had no way of being opened without being, removed by a blowtorch. And there was lots of other dead people around her in other cages.
Alright, well, let's start there. Comdosa turns to the elf robot and asks for her name so he can stop calling her elf robot.
She lists off a string of numbers, which I will send to you because I'm not reading out 12 numbers. More than 12 numbers, actually. There's the numbers, if you got them.
47139133915. That's too long.
Yeah, that's why I didn't read it out.
I know the elves don't call you by the numbers. What is your registered name?
Oh. She says, alternate designation, Eve.
You went with Eve.
Hmm?
You went with Eve.
Yeah, that was always her name. Well, designation, not her name.
Okay, Eve. Tell me about the bodies.
Other prisoners, not durable, died quickly. Very painfully.
Exact. How quickly?
Within a few days, usually.
What killed them?
Dehydration.
Other bodies died. Okay, Eve, for what purpose did they keep you locked up? If you could ascertain such.
Possible asset, possible detainment, many reasons possible. Clarify.
Why did they detain you with no possible way of getting out other than blowtorching a door off?
Physical abilities high, able to break locks relatively easily. Did so on 2 occasions.
And they were able to capture you again?
Strange man with odd eyes. Very strong.
That's terrifying.
Talked to himself a lot. May be mentally unstable.
Did this man hang around there a lot?
No. Mostly old man. Regretful old man, but still captive. Perhaps forced. Heard talk of offspring or progeny taken captive.
And did the old man take care of you and the others, or were you just left there while the old man was there to keep watch, I assume?
Old man make reports, but not assist anyone. Was very surprised when not die. Exterior fool old man, perhaps.
Did you overhear the old man saying anything about who or the organization he worked for?
His gang. Designation unknown. Downtown. Believed base.
Gang, designation unknown.
Strange man, possible leader. Possible second in command. Unknown.
Possibly. And what gives you that impression?
Spoke of authority. Threatened old man many times.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, Steve. Since I wasn't there, I'm not sure exactly what information they want me to get from you. Some of this seemed pretty helpful to our current case. Other of it seems kind of like this is going somewhere else.
Unsure of meaning. Clarify.
Um, uh, the case we're working on is also classified. You don't need to know.
Understood. Boone just kind of stands there staring at him, waiting.
Oh, the selfish robot.
What was that?
Oh, no. Thinking to myself, because I'm not sure. They sent me in here to interrogate the robot on what they know. But I'm not sure what they want me to come back with.
Anything. Because none of them can talk to her, so you're the only one who can.
Okay, we got date of capture, other bodies, strange. Oh, okay. He looks over the notes one more time. Tell me any information you have on this strange man, as it sounds like since he was able to recapture you multiple times after escape. Give me everything you know on him.
Emits strange energy. Possible mutant. Magical variety. Unknown speculation at best. Physically strong. Able to alter limbs on occasion. Possibly mentally unstable. Spoke to self and also a strange manner of speech.
Does he happen to wear a hood?
Yes, occasionally.
Guys, my mic working?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Everything went silent, so I wasn't sure.
Doc is just puzzling out questions.
Ah!
Yeah, since I'm the only person who can speak to the elf robot, I'm trying to get as much information on the man that they fought. Alright, one last question. Did this man seem to report to anyone else?
Negative. Seemed personally averse to taking anything construed as command.
Actually, that's something that helps too.
Yeah, he doesn't like orders.
Which means he's either the highest up or very high up. He's from an organization downtown. Again, everything seems to lead back to downtown. Okay. I think I got all I need to get to go back to the captain with. Cardosa stands up and puts the note into his breast pocket. Thank you for your time, Eve.
Inquiry. When will this unit be released back into service?
Back into military service?
Yes. She doesn't know that the war she was built for is long, long over.
Oh, How much about the war do I know?
A lot. It's a very major historical event. It was about 40 years ago. It was basically a conflict with another nation of mostly gnomes, and you won decisively.
The gnomes are all dead.
All of them. Or there might be a few still alive in hiding, but you killed off most of them because they tried to take over the world and kill everybody else.
So that reminds me of the Morrowind 3 Dark Elves.
I mean, you're not wrong. They're also basically gnomish Nazis.
Yeah, I was gonna like, it's probably World War II except Germany wiped off the map.
Yeah, more or less.
So wait, the gnomes are the Nazis?
Yes.
Oh god.
Okay, I don't know how long you've been detained or been deactivated. It sounds like you've been off for more than 7 months. The war's been over for 40 years. Gnomes lost decisively.
Victory. Good. Still difficult to process. What we'll do now?
Uh, we'll have to talk to the higher ups at your military to see what they're going to do with you. Until then, stay stationed here, and I will come back with news.
Affirmative. Many thanks. She salutes you.
Comdosa just nods takes his hat off, nods, and leaves the door. Promptly locks the door behind him, even though he knows it probably won't do much use for a cyborg.
Through the glass of the door, you can see that she kind of just sits herself on a chair and doesn't move.
Yep, that's a cyborg. I guess. Yeah, I got all I got. I think I could.
Interesting interrogation.
He also goes back to the captain, knocks on the door.
We'll stop here and we'll cut over to somebody else for a little while.
Yay. Well, how's Mork and Slane going?
Well, they're heading downtown, I assume.
Oh, I didn't know I was doing that.
Oh, Mork, I mean. You're...
Mork's heading downtown to find someone.
Yes.
Probably you.
But
Mork
no,
is going downtown to find Sarah.
we're not
which involves
going to
his-
go to Mork just yet. We're going back to Slane,
Yes.
who is going to meet a certain individual. Give me just a moment to set up that map.
I'm back, sorry.
Welcome back.
It's alright, Core's still setting stuff up.
I am indeed.
Gotta clean my bowl real quick. I'll be right back.
Tired there.
Yup. But I'll be fine. I don't really have anything planned for the rest of the week besides the raid, really. And some scrim practice matches and stuff like that. Nothing else planned this week. I don't have class till next Monday, so. And I finished all my IT work today because I spent all day doing it, so. I get to chill.
Welcome back.
So far this session, we've had police brutality, interrogations, androids, and what else?
You're about to have mob boss for the daughter who has the hots for my character, and my character's like, please don't kill me.
Fucking no. So, you think you can have my adopted daughter?
It's not his adoptive daughter. It's his literal daughter.
Is it a gnome?
No.
She's a half-elf tiefling kind of thing.
An elvish tiefling, basically, yes.
Ah.
Okay. Do. Didn't think we were quite up to this part today, but so just give me a moment to finish setting up the map.
No worries.
Roger.
Anyway, Zlane is greeted at his front door by a knock. A very insistent one.
Zlane gets up. How early in the morning is it now?
It is 6 a.m.
Ah, really early.
Indeed.
Zlane gets up, not really fully dressed at all. He had his workshop white tee on and some light slacks as he walked up the door and opened it. But that's quite early in the morning then. Who's that? As he opened up his door.
Delivery service.
the delivery?
Well, you're to be the delivery, to be honest.
Does our boss know what bloody time it is?
Of course.
Give me 6 minutes.
You have 4.
Whatever you say. Don't walk in or the golem will punch you. As he closed his door. Slane was ready in about 3 minutes, but he purposely waited about 1 minute and 5 seconds before walking out the door.
A very obviously gangster-looking tiefling sits out of your door, one of his hands wrapped in bandages. His long ears give him away as another sibling of your paramours.
Do I know him by name?
You do not know his name, but you know his face. He's one of the people who escorted you the last time.
Didn't bring the big guy with you this time?
Well, we're going to be moderately more polite today.
Fad? Slane was in, what was the attire I gave him? Look back up.
It was his weird business suit thing. Essentially, he looks like a mobster. From what the description you gave me.
Kinda. For the people in chat. Here you go.
Oh god, this is one. There we go. Wait, no. Which one do I click? There's 2.
They're combo if you read.
Okay, so one guy looks like Sasuke.
Wait, where is this in chat?
The regular chat. I put it in the actual chat.
I don't see it. All I see is your meme.
No,
No,
in the
no, no,
D&D chat.
Oh, in the game. That makes sense.
The level of edgelordness in this photo makes me incredibly jealous.
Which for the first photo is just for the bottom cloak. I liked how that hung. The other one is actually kind of much more what he wears. Sunglasses and all, mind you.
So you basically look like you're part of the mob, so that's appropriate.
Professional though.
Efficiency.
Efficiency. The man escorts you to a nondescript black car that has no license, has very suspicious-looking license plates. Because they're very very clearly traditional mobsters.
Well, I don't have to ride in the trunk this time then.
Well, you've been upgraded to the back seat. Think yourself lucky. Most people don't come back, don't get out once they ride in the trunk.
Slane shrugged. I barely did, I believe.
Well,
You're lucky.
skin of your teeth better than being dead, my friend.
Why, I work both sides, my other friend. Seems to work out for me most days.
Well, with a scare in there, perhaps. We'll be heading to the club downtown. I'm sure you know the one. Bit more informal than the seaside resort you went to last time. The seaside resort in question is actually just a dock with some cement boots at the end of it.
At least I had a nice view as he got into the car.
True enough. True enough. You know where we're going, Sergey, says the man as he slides in the back seat next to you. You hear a grunt from the front seat. It was apparently the driver. And then you're off, as the man makes moderately jab-like small talk at you the entire way. You can definitely tell he's related to your acquaintance.
I was actually surprised not to see Arsticia this morning.
Oh, she's in a spot of trouble, as you've probably guessed.
I told her not to get into trouble last night.
Not that kind of trouble. Say, old Old Dad isn't too pleased at the moment.
Guessing it's to do with the things I found.
Not so much.
Oh,
Let's just say my dear sister has been considering a career change he does not approve of. You'll probably get the blame for that, by the way.
I believe he blamed me last time just for, turning her on to normal coffee.
Well, you know, Dad, he's likes his things very uniform, shall we say?
Slane shrugged. I didn't know my dad, so no.
I meant mine, obviously.
I know, it was a joke.
You're bad at those. You should really stop.
Slane hung his head in a little bit of defeat.
Eventually, you arrive at in early hours of the morning, where the sun is not yet to rise, at a nightclub.
You'd be disappointed if you don't have Flux music from Mass Effect playing.
What?
You're at a nightclub.
No, it's the morning nightclub.
The nightclub
There's
isn't
nothing
open.
like this.
It's like 6 o'clock in the morning, Arch. The place is empty.
Hey, some people party all the time. I'm just saying.
It's a mobster's nightclub, so it's front. Anyway, you arrive. Where is your token? I cannot find it. Oh, there you are. Hello, token. Ah, there you are. Okay, do.
That's a good picture of an elvish mobster you found, actually. Elvish tiefling mobster. That's really good, actually. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that one.
That one's good. You know, I've only been here once. The nightclub seems not exactly my kind of place.
Well, that's unfortunate for you, isn't it?
Slane shrugged. Not really.
Well, do you know the way to the office at least?
I believe so.
Don't-
Shaffa dragged me here once, and she gave me the layout of the place.
Well, don't get lost. You might get shot otherwise.
What are you kidding? I'm probably going to get shot anyway.
Well, here's to hoping. Have a good one. And the man walks back to the car and leaves you at the door.
Slane offered him a soft middle finger for that last comment.
He returns the gesture, seemingly amused. You get the impression he's off on another job of some kind.
Slane opened the door.
The nightclub is eerily empty.
Well, I haven't been shot by a line of men yet. Bright sides. He kind of adjusted his coat, making sure he looked decent, and put his sunglasses in his pocket. Now, if I recall, it's through this door on the right.
You are correct.
He opened the door, looking in the hallway, like back and forth.
There is nobody there.
Alright, good. No, the rocket launcher guy. Good for me. Good for my health. And Zlane knocked on the door.
You hear a hissed answer of "Enter." I'll enlarge this picture so people can see it.
Zlane walked in. And closed the door behind him.
The very fancy-looking one-eyed man with curled horns coming out from his hat smoking a cigar with a very, very sharp-looking sword laid across his desk. Ah, it's you. Do sit. Come in.
William did so, and there at coat rack,
There is a coat rack, of course.
he gently put up his coat like a proper man and sat down in front of his desk.
Now then, mercenary, give me 2 good reasons why I should not gut you here.
One, it seemed to be a waste of energy for you, sir. I've done nothing to harm you or your business. More of the other people are the first ones I contacted rather than the police.
This is true. Your other reason?
I've shown you nothing but respect most days.
Well, there is that, though there are some exceptions to that rule, it seems. Do you know what I found out last night? The man gives you a very conversational tone here. It's deceptively so.
I'm honestly not sure, sir.
Well, my lovely, lovely daughter seems to have decided to go into the legitimate side of business. Who do you believe may that be to blame?
I'd probably guess you're going to blame that one on me.
Well, it's not as if we know any other lawmen.
I'm technically not quite a lawman, and not technically quite one of the mob either. I exist in the middle as a pseudo-legitimate businessman.
Indeed.
You know I keep in trust with you and the other big mob bosses to make sure that they don't do anything too much and I don't do anything too good.
This is true, but it does not excuse this turn of events.
I doubt your daughter will truly go in the way of legitimacy. A feign, possibly.
That is my thoughts as well. However, it does present me with a problem, considering the alternative option I've been offered to this unsettling distraction.
What would that be?
Well, it is involving you, obviously. Care to guess?
I don't think I want to.
Well, I insist.
I'd assume it's something to do with me and your daughter's interactions with me.
Well, you're not stupid, at least.
I don't think I've ever shown myself as that. Maybe a
No,
bit of a smartass.
no, that is true. That is true. Now, what perhaps do you suppose this ultimatum is exactly?
And that one I don't know to be true. Shafa has, to be honest, I can't read her at all.
Yes, she is a mysterious one. Regardless, the ultimatum my darling daughter has issued me is to assist you with the law enforcement task at hand, which I'm not terribly opposed to, seeing as we have some new competition.
This competition seemingly has got it out for your men.
Oh, they're ungainly and rabble, but a troublesome one.
There is something else that I did not tell Shafa that I was going to inform you of.
Oh, do speak.
There is somebody else involved with all this. 2 people, actually.
Indeed.
Someone with the gifted arts of teleportation magics.
Ah, you prefer to the red woman. She's come up a few times. Not that I've told
Aye.
my darling about it.
There is also the fact that she's working with the rumors that have been going around in the
I'm
alleys from
I'm
crazy.
well aware. This is the leader of this new insurgents, perhaps.
Slim tilted his head. I'm not sure. There's discrepancies with things in this case that don't match completely with everything.
Well, allow me to illuminate for you. The gang in question goes under a number of pseudonyms. You probably were familiar with one or two. They're very problematic, mostly because of their leader and this woman. The rest are rabble, easily mopped up, but they seem to appear whenever we manage to get any real headway. The man is the real issue. The woman is probably just a distraction.
Lane shrugs Haley. I put a bullet in his shoulder.
That won't stop him long.
No, but it does hurt at least.
This is true, this is true. Only thing that would stop him is a bullet between the eyes, I believe. Maybe not even that.
Lane shrugged again. He disappeared before I had a real chance to fight him.
I assume you wounded him severely. He tends to get a little more serious once he's bled a bit.
Lane nodded. He started to morph into the wolf, whatever it was.
Oh, you saw that? No, not many people survived that. My opinion of it's going up slightly.
I've survived you in this town enough being in the middle of the law. And honestly, to be true, the other thugs of the gangs that are after your daughter have given me more of a number than him. Mainly because they're annoying.
Well, that's what you get, I suppose. Now, the second part of this ultimatum is the really vexing part. Care to guess? Oh, God damn it! Stop doing that.
Again, I shall let you illuminate me.
Oh no, I insist. What do you believe, my darling, my request might have demanded of me involving you?
I'm guessing to stay out of my affairs or something along those lines.
Oh, you think too small, my dear boy.
Slane tilts his head. She doesn't want me to join up with you guys, does she?
No, not us. More her. I'm sure you understand that implication.
Slane made an ah.
Now, as I said earlier, is there a particular reason I should not mount your head and those horns on the wall?
Slane did a nervous shrug. To be fair, my horns would make a decent wall piece. I do like them on my head. They seem to fit a little bit better. Other than that, I believe I've been one of the few men that haven't partaken in any of the flirtations with your daughter.
That's maybe why we're at the issue we are, my good lad. You're a challenge, and that has stoked her fires, so to speak. And it is problematic for me.
It could not be.
Oh? Are you saying that she is not good enough for you, dear sir?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you can use me as well.
Oh? Do continue.
Your daughter seems to be interested in me. Well, I am not saying your daughter is not worthwhile in any way or anything like that. But I try to be careful with the woman I date, as the last one, as you know, tried to blow up an entire city block.
Yes, yes. Such a shame.
No, not at all. She was absolutely insane.
Yes, but such things probably go quite well in other departments of her life.
Lane shrugged. But because of that, I've been pretty careful with who I've been around. And judging by the fact that she desires so much of me, you could probably figure out the way I can keep playing hard to get, and you can just lay off my back. I should probably won't cause any more trouble of the joining up with others kind of thing.
Oh, but well, your suggestion is intriguing. It won't suffice. The man pushes a document over the table towards you.
He picked it up and started to read through it.
It is a appears to be a fully prepared marriage certificate with your name on it.
Slane's brow furrowed a little bit. Is she mad?
Well, perhaps a certain kind of madness.
Slane looked down at it. That,
You see my dilemma, dear boy?
You probably should have put a third reason if not to chop my head off, to be honest.
I,
Be off easy with two.
I'm being a bit generous since you're such a outstanding gentleman for the most part.
It's fair. To be honest, I told your son I was going to be surprised if there wasn't a firing squad in the lobby waiting for me.
Oh no, they're at the back. Just in case.
Slane nodded. A completely fair choice. The other... This has been... I'm guessing this has been fully legally, taken care of. There is absolutely no loopholes in this.
You're correct.
He stared at it. She even got a lawyer to draft this up. There's not even an annulment loophole for me.
Did you expect anything else?
She's usually not so thorough.
Oh, you've never seen her work for something she wants, lad. Trust me, this is minor compared to the last time. Where do you think all the ponies came from?
Ah.
The man indeed owns several pony farms, and he'd never wanted to actually buy ponies, but here we are.
Slade looked at him, and then just thought for a second. Well, here's my third reason. I believe you need a drink. He just took out a flask from his back pocket
The man
and gave to his desk.
pulls out a set of glasses. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
He poured one for him and one for himself. It was surprisingly decent cognac, actually.
I'll give you.
Had at
I'll
least-
give you this much, lad. You've got some taste at least. Last lad I had in here after my other daughter tried to give me whiskey of all things, cheap whiskey. Care to guess what happened? Care to guess what happened to him?
Firing squad will be too good for him.
Oh,
I'm feeling
no.
had a wonderful trip to the seaside resort again.
Indeed, he enjoyed a lovely vacation. He decided he would stay.
Oh my.
Deep sea fishing.
Aye, favorite hobby.
Slade forcefully cracked a little bit of a smile at that as he took a sip himself. Not to sound rude or anything, completely off the normal books and a little bit more casual. It's a little bit terrifying, being propositioned to marriage into the biggest crime family in the entire city.
Aye. It does put a little bit of a crimple on your mercenary trade, does it not?
Slane tilted his head. Maybe. Maybe not. I could charge almost triple for my rates, honestly.
The association does help you in that way, I suppose. Ought to do
I
this.
believe the old captains might actually hurt me, though.
You mean Old Ridgetooth? I doubt that.
God, he doesn't like me very much.
Oh, perhaps not. That you might be surprised if you found out you're joining the mafia, lad.
In his words, he would probably just yell efficiency or something along those lines.
Well,
See,
indeed, he does like his criminal contacts to be efficient. Which is probably why he doesn't like you, honestly.
I am decently efficient.
Ah, but you're not as efficient as you could be.
Completely true, honestly.
Now then,
Now,
your thoughts on what we're doing about this situation.
well, we really only have two ways to go for you. Because I'm sure you don't want your daughter to go into legitimate business. That'd be worse than any of the other options, to be true.
I'd rather not have a police officer in the family. Not to mention them, or even the military. That would be worse. Oh, the shame of it all.
Here are the two things we could possibly do. The first one, I could try to be just an unimaginable threat and get her to get off me.
Yeah, I don't believe you're capable of that, lad.
Slade hung his head. That was a slight spark of me, but not like that.
I've seen you try to flirt before. It's not a pretty sight, honestly.
Slade put up his head and then just nodded his head slightly. I was living on the street in a small little hangar cell. I'm not exactly the best at talking to people, if you haven't realized.
You're not the most loquacious, that's true.
On the other hand, the other thing we could do, well, you don't want her to be a police officer or anything like that. I may be able to assist you in maybe convincing her to do something more along the lines like I do. Which is not exactly the most... the best image for you. But it could also be beneficial if you did so in a way that perhaps, since you seem to know Liz Sooth well, could be a good in-between and
Old Ridge Tooth and I do Sunday drinks sometimes.
maybe along the lines of a compromise with your daughter. Because, no offense, marriage is a little bit quick for me. And
I'm
scares me.
relatively sure the marriage thing is more of an intention than a ironclad agreement, if you get my meaning. It's
And the best we could,
mostly towards me rather than you.
and maybe along the lines of take her out for dinner or something like that. Plus, as a mercenary partner to myself, she can spend more time around. Maybe it'll convince her to not deal with me at all.
You're very optimistic, lad, aren't you?
You have to be when you live under a bridge.
I suppose that's true. Well, very well. We'll give this an attempt. Suppose I can't be the protective father forever. She is almost 30.
Zane tilted his head. I honestly didn't realize that.
I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not, lad. You may want to speak a little carefully there.
That's also fair. I apologize. I tend to get a little casual after a little bit of time. Plus, my nerves are still killing me, if I'm being honest. As he took another sip of his
Well, that will be all. You're still seeking out this gang, I assume.
Slide on his head. I believe I'm going to talk to a shady tiefling next.
Downtown?
Slide nodded his head.
Petty criminal, I know the one. You'll find her on Main Street. Just around in one of the alleys, probably.
Slade looked at him. Would you, could me to send a message to any of these people for you?
Oh no, they've gotten the message pretty well by now.
Slade nodded. I'm always offering.
Hell, don't want to get too associated with us, lad. Lest your neutrality be a little compromised, so to speak.
Slade shrugged. I hang around the Orcus police officers. Hang around you is not exactly, it evens out pretty much.
Well, they're certainly efficient over there, I give you that much.
Most days. The other thing on the business side of things, there is I'm sure your daughter might have told you, or she might have completely forgot.
Or she didn't out of spite. That's another option.
Also an option. I'm Still searching for some of those old war mechs. If you happen to come across any, I will pay handsomely for them, even if they're just half chassis.
Aye, you after the humanoid models or the larger ones?
The larger ones. Been working on a golem in the workshop.
Well, we don't have any of the larger ones. A few of the old humanoid models are still around, though. I believe this new gang captured one some time ago.
Aye, already been found.
Oh,
Elvish model. Cyborg Commando.
impressive. Those are rare. Only 3 or
They
4 made.
they also kicked my bloody ass.
You were really surprised by that, man.
I didn't know what she was, so all I did was open up the cell and I was on my back with a hand around my neck.
Well, you're not dead. That's better than most who've come across those things.
I looked at him and he let out actually a soft chuckle. I seem to be getting off with a lot of I should be dead things lately.
Well, let's hope your luck doesn't run out too soon.
Blaine got up with a somewhat smirk to him as he put on his jacket. This has been a pleasure, my good man.
Aye,
Take care.
surprisingly, it has. Though, keep in mind, get too handsy and you may lose a figure. Maybe 2, or your head. Haven't quite decided yet.
Blaine shrugged. I'll do my best. She's very dedicated. I can see her tranking me. So please don't do that if she does that to me.
Well, that would be unfortunate.
Blaine nodded. You'll have a good day. Have the rest of the cognac. It's a good New Year.
Ugh, mighty generous of you, lad. I'm sure we'll meet again soon. Hopefully in a equally pleasant manner rather than hanging from your toes again, eh?
As I stood to your son, nasty headaches.
Aye, bit of pressure on those horns, I imagine. Good day to you, lad.
Good day. Did he actually call him his name? The first person to call him his name?
Indeed.
Slane walked out, and was there a sad firing squad waiting for him in the hallway?
There is not a sad firing squad in the hallway, but when you go downstairs, you look at the bar, you see them all seated there looking vaguely disappointed.
He looked over at them. I'm sorry, lads. Have to be another time, probably.
Aye. Man, we don't get to shoot anybody these days.
Slane looked at him. That bloody gang that's been running about in territory. I have a feeling they'll get the message for you guys to do some fun then.
Ugh, the trash, man. Not even worthy shooting.
Shoot them with small guns in. Takes lots of bullets.
Aye, but there's no satisfaction in killing a man who's not honourable.
Slane nodded. I've been building a gun today anyways. It wouldn't be that much fun for me either.
Well, we'll catch you next time. Hopefully we'll get to threaten you then.
Slane nodded. Good luck. He walked out the door. Slane might actually get some respect for these people.
And that's the end of our little Mafia episode.
Yay.
Now you're all headed downtown.
Down.
Alright, we gotta hold off here until next everyone's back. Because plot stuff's
You want?
up to everybody else.
I'm down for anything.
Taka's been quiet and secretive.
I've been here the entire time.
He's just been listening.
I am down for either more or to stop here. If we were going to get into deeper story stuff, then maybe stopping here is good, so that way we don't leave out Roman and Cam.
Yeah, because we're getting to the first meeting with like the gang
Yeah,
midway.
yeah, you're right. We'll stop. We can stop here. I haven't got anything else prepared anyway.
Perfect then.
Perfect. That was a good session.
Mob stuffs.
I do like the mob, the tiefling mob.
Ups and interrogations, and not reading the autopsy report.
Alrighty then.
I might get this outfit done as my sketch next month.
How did we not read?
Because we just got it last session.
Last session, yeah.
And then we immediately went to
But how
The,
did not someone stop to think to go, let's read the thing that's useful?
It just didn't happen. Also, I forgot to set my Mafia music. Alas.
I hope it was old Italian music.
Was it the Godfather music?
There's a few good options.
I'll show you what it was. Oh, like, stop doing that, damn it. It was this.
Oh God.
Yep.
Yeah, Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
I called it so hard.
This is what we'll leave off with for today. In place of our normal finishing music.
Zlane gets to leave with his life.
Indeed.
Until he marries the girl.
Until he marries the girl, yes.